to the live stream. I'm Superior Shelby, a 71% successful grant writer. So blessed to have you here. Per usual, we do these daily live streams around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm so happy that you are here with me. That means you are interested in knowing how to search and apply to grants. In today's live stream, I'm going to show you some frameworks on exactly how I answer these grant questions. I get a lot of frequently asked questions in the comments from videos you guys have saw. If this is your first time seeing me, welcome in, friend. I'm Shelby. I have been winning grants for 10 years. I've won millions of dollars in grants. I run Superior Solutions, which is a business consultancy and a grant writing service. And what I do is I write grants for you, business plans, pitch decks, and I also offer just $50 one-on-one coachings, okay? So it's a Zoom call. And I've been doing this for a long time. I have a 71% successful grant writing rate. So what that means is out of 1,000 people that I might help in a year, 71% of them actually get approved to at least a $10,000 grant that I apply to for them. So if you've never heard of grants before, this is the perfect place to be. I'm going to teach you what a grant is, where you can find them, and also how to apply to them. And we'll also walk through an exercise together. Okay, I'm going to show you a $100,000 accelerator program that you can go for right now. And I'll explain to you why grants is worth the time. Okay, so stick with me. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you like the live stream if you guys are watching me live. And also share this live stream to other people who are interested in some debt-free funding. Okay. Grants is free money that you can get. So there's no personal information needed. You don't have to provide your bank account statements. You don't have to provide your credit, your social security number. You don't have to worry about the hassle of credit inquiries and stuff like that. Grants is what you call non-dilutive funding. So non-dilutive funding is pretty much free money, no strings attached. Now, you can get this free money from your state and local government. So that means it's stately funded and also funded by different donations and nonprofit programs that help, startups and small business owners in your local area. So an example of that would be, let's say they're giving away $10,000 grants to Black women-owned companies in Houston, Texas, right? So you qualify if you're a Black woman or you're a startup in Houston, Texas. Well, you can apply to one of those $10,000 grants, right? And sometimes it's first come, first serve. We also saw a lot of this grant funding during the COVID relief funds for small businesses. So do you guys remember the $10,000 SBA targeted advance? Well, that was a federal funded grant. So that came from the federal government, right, through the SBA. But grants work in that same way, right? A lot of people was able to get $10,000 during the 2020 COVID relief funds, and they used that money to help with payroll and to help them, continue their businesses, right? Because they were affected economically. So that's a grant. Another place where you can get grants is through a big company like Google, Apple, Uber, Tesla, Nike, Sephora, Macy's, okay, all of these big Walmart, all of these big places, big companies, they give out free money so we can have the necessary money to start our businesses and scale. Okay, so the big companies give out money too, and it helps them out on the back end of taxes. I mean, imagine being a multi-$100 million company, right, or $1 billion company, and your taxes may be through the roof. Okay, so what it happens is that they actually give out money in charitable awards and gifts, rewards and gifts. And that's called grants, and they give them back to nonprofits. They give money back to startups and also seasoned small business owners. Okay, especially Sephora. Right now, Sephora has a $100,000 grant opportunity for all seasoned owned beauty care products. So if you are a CPG, which CPG is an acronym for consumer product good, if let's say you are selling things like a face cream, right? And you've been in business for 2 years, then you qualify for that $100,000 Sephora grant. And they want to give you 100K so that way you can scale your already consumer product good that's in the beauty industry. Even if it is something like in hair, right? If it's like a shampoo or a hair serum, or even if it's like a beard oil for men, right? If you've been in business for 2 years, you qualify for that $100,000 grant that Sephora is giving out. So you can get grants from these big companies. Companies like Nike, right? And Macy's, if you are in the fashion industry, give out a lot of money, especially around that fashion week time, right? So you would see a lot of those grants around that time too. And then the last but not least, you can get grants from other private sectors, private investors, or nonprofits that help startups and small business owners scale. So those places like Hello Alice, Hello Skip, the Fearless Fund, Black Ambition Prize, right? These are all places that actually give out venture capital, give out investment capital, but they also give out grant programs, right? Grants, and they have accelerator programs. So I don't know if you've heard of an accelerator program. You can drop in the chat. I love me an interactive chat. Okay, but you guys, let me know in the chat if you have heard of what an accelerator program is and what a incubator program is. Okay, because those are different from grants. So I'll go back over it while you're dropping your answer in the chat. Okay, maybe I should put a poll in here. Let me see. I'm going to put a poll. Have you heard? Do you know what a accelerator program and incubator? Okay, so I'm going to drop. So you guys go ahead and answer the poll. If you are joining me right now live, go ahead and answer the poll. There you go. I just put it there for you. Okay, while you guys are answering, I just want to know, do you know what an accelerator program is and an incubator program? Let me know in the chat. All right, so that's totally different from a grant program. So I'll go back. Remember, grants is free money that you don't have to pay back. No credit checks, no personal information needed. I had a consultation over this weekend. Actually, it's like a little text conversation with one of my clients. She's more like a friend, and she's super really cool. And she's been actually referring a lot of people to me this past week. She's a part of the Grantfully funding community. If you guys don't know what Grantfully is that grant search engine that you can track everything, all the grants that you're applying to, and you can have somebody submit a grant application for you for just $30. It doesn't come out until December 10th, but in order for you to be a part of the virtual launch and also to get a 50% off coupon, in addition to that, you get weekly grant lists, you get weekly webinars, and also you're a part of a full funding community. You get a chance at networking and collaborating with other people. And then also you get a free grant writing checklist. Okay. So if you would like to be a part, just visit grantfully.org. I'll put the link in the chat for you. And then you can just simply get the free grant writing checklist and join us in our weekly webinars. So she invited a lot of people, right? And she was like, on Saturday we had our webinar, and the webinar from Saturday was really good. And she was like, well, a lot of the people that I invited, they didn't come. And that kind of hurt my feelings. And I wanted to walk her through it. So I was like, why? What happened? And she was like, well, they trust me to do their hair. They trust me to teach them how to do, hair braiding and locks and stuff, because that's what she does. But she says when it comes down to funding or helping them with true opportunities that's going to help them scale, it seems like to them it's a scam, or they don't trust me in that way. I explained to her, with my 10 years of doing this, I have been called everything in the book but a child of God, okay? And I can honestly say that yes, people who don't have understanding of what grants are, they will automatically result to it's a scam. Now, you have different levels of intellect, right? Common sense is not common, and it's also very, very important that as business owners that we can't expect everyone to get what we do at an instant. That's simply because the people that are supposed to shop with you, right, by you being a business owner, they will be in alignment with what you are offering. You get what I'm saying? So a person who is, right, not looking for somebody to come by and do electrical work, right, and doesn't care about getting a solar panel to save lights, right, to save money on lights or whatever the case may be, they're going to automatically think that you trying to introduce them to someone who does electrical work in their house that can help them save money on their light bill every month and also provide solar panels so that way they don't have to spend much money and lights every month. Well, they're going to think that's a scam because they're not looking for it. It's not in alignment with their vision and with their comprehension skills at the moment. So maybe they can only comprehend actually going for loans, lines of credit, and credit cards. Maybe because their intentions are not the same intentions that you might have. Their intentions might be, I just want to get some money. I need to pay my bills. I want to buy a new Benz. Versus someone like you who was, I want to get money because I want to fulfill the business mission I have. I want to help as many people save money, or I want to help as many people, learn a skill so that way they can have an extra stream of income. I explained this to our friend who's a part of the Grantfully funding community. So I explained it to our friend. And when I explained it to her, she was just like so appreciative of it. And I'm appreciative of her for even giving it a try and, just referring her clients to me, right? I like to, speak with you guys who are in the line who's looking for this type of information, right? I know sometimes we come across my channel on like scrolling on YouTube Shorts, and I appreciate YouTube pushing it out, but I can't wait until the algorithm is so tight that it will only show my channel to the people who are actually Googling how to search and apply to grants or, what are grants or something like that, right? So, I wanted to say that and bring that up to you guys because I do get this comment sometimes where people believe that grants are not a real thing. And grants are truly a real thing. Okay. One way that you can reassure yourself that grants are real is that you can visit one of these grant websites. One website I use is Hello Skip, or you can visit grantwatch.com. If you use the smart filters that's in place, right, then you will see that there is so many grants out there that you can apply to. Matter of fact, 33 million small business owners in the US, 84% leave over $90 billion a year on the table. $90 billion of free money, no strings attached, gets left on the table every year because a lot of people don't understand what grants are, or they might understand, but they might like not know how to answer the questions, right? You have a group of people out there that actually have went for grant funding, and when they go for grant funding they haven't won it, right? And they might only went for like one grant or up to five grants, so not really truly giving themselves a true try. And so what happens is they tell the other group of people, the other startups or their friends, I'm not going for grants because grants is a scam. I applied to five grants and I didn't get approved. Grants is no 100% guarantee that you will win because it's a competition. Just like you aggressively need debt free funding, there's so many other businesses that need it as well. And I'm 100% transparent with that. But that doesn't mean you are not worthy of it. You just need to simply know how to answer the questions. So, in today's live stream, I'm going to give you my frameworks on how to answer the questions so that way you can be in favor of the grant applications and the grant judges. Okay. We're going to go through so much today. So, I hope you stick with me. I'm so blessed to have you guys here. Make sure you like the live stream as you're coming in. All right. So, earlier in this live stream, I asked you guys, do you know exactly what an accelerator program or incubator program is? Okay. So, I'm going to end the poll. And it says that 57% of you guys actually know exactly what an accelerator program is and an incubator, but 43% of you guys don't know. Okay. We got about 7 votes, which is really cool. So, let me explain to you what it is. An accelerator program, all right, is pretty much a program that will give you funding. So it will give you $100,000, like the one we're going to go over today is an accelerator program. It'll give you $50,000. It will give you a lot of like good cash, right? And what happens is it can either be an investment capital, so like through a safe, or it will be like a grant, right? So just no strings attached. But an accelerated program is so much more than a grant because not only do you get money, but you also get like usually 6 to 12 weeks of training, right, or coaching to help you have like the programs and the systems in place, so that way you can be effective and efficient. And also, it comes with so many back end like perks and deals. Like let's say, for example, they give you $100,000, and then they'll also give you the 6 to 12 weeks of coaching with someone who truly understands in your business industry. And then they'll also give you like a luncheon night or like a dinner where you can network with other investors, right? Your idea. So that's a good networking opportunity. And then also they'll give you like credits towards like Google ads and Facebook meta ads and Amazon and all of these other IBM Cloud and all these other places, right? Where you don't have to spend the money, the 100K that it's already giving you. So what that means is you get money, you get coaching, you get a night where you get to network and talk about and even pitch your business to so many different people who want to invest. And then you also get the opportunity to use some credits, some ad credits, so that way you don't have to come out of your pocket for your marketing budget. Isn't that cool? All right, so that's what that's all about. So I'm happy that I was able to explain that. Incubators are more of, they don't really give you the funding. Instead, they will give you the tools and the supplies and equipment and the resources that you need. So if you say, we are a we're a at home based bakery, and we are looking to we need like a commercial kitchen, right? That way we can make our vegan free bake like cookies and stuff, right? Well, they may pay for one year, right? One lease for a commercial kitchen for you. So that's an incubator program. In addition to the incubator program, you might get like coaching as well. All right. So incubator programs are a bit different. You don't really get money from those. It's an incubator. So the whole point is they want to hold your hand and walk you through every step of the way, but also provide the resources and tools and supplies and equipment that you need in order to scale instead of giving you direct funding. Okay. I know some of you guys are like, well, I just want the money. Well, sometimes incubators and accelerators can actually be more in our favor, simply because you may be a person that believes that you know exactly where to invest your money, but you might not know how to invest it. There's a different thing. You may know that you need to put money into ads, you need to put money into buying the supply and equipment and hiring people, but you may not know how to go about it. So yes, you need to put money into ads, but how much money should you put into Facebook Meta ads in order for you to see a good conversion? How much do you need to put into Google ads? You probably don't know that because you probably never did this before. How much should you put into payroll? And how are you going to make sure you secure that team of people that won't leave you within the first 90 days? What does hiring somebody look like? So that's why accelerator programs and incubator programs, the coaching that they offer is really, really good, because you get to truly understand how your standard of operations should like how your business should flow, pretty much how it should operate, and also how to scale, right? So it's more than just, oh, I'll put money here and put money there. No, you can actually be like terrible terrible in putting your money into certain places. So you need to have some coaching, somebody that's going to hold your hand through the whole thing. Okay. All right. So let's move forward. All right. So like I said earlier, today's live stream, I'm going to go over my frameworks. Yes, I have some slideshows to bring up to you. So I hope you're ready to screenshot. For those of you who are just coming in, please like the live stream so that way the YouTube algorithm can push out this information to more startup small business owners who want to know about grants. It's such a great thing. Before I also bring up my slides and stuff and start to show you my frameworks. Another thing that I get, so I've already told you guys that grants are actually a real thing, right? You remember, you can visit HelloSkip or grantwatch.com. Another thing is, you want to reassure yourself of the traction, right, of that grant. We'll go over that in a minute, but you can always take a look at the grant program and see who have they recently funded, right? And that will reassure you of whether or not that grant is a true thing. I do get a lot of, comments, not a lot of comments, but sometimes some people don't go for grants because they do feel like they're wasting their time. Like I said earlier, you're definitely not wasting your time when you are applying to grants, because even if you don't win the grand prize of $100,000, guess what? You still get perks and deals on the back just for applying. So they may give you free, give you $10,000 in Meta Facebook ads and credits, right? So you can use that credit or a certain code to use that $10,000 to help you really market your business and create more awareness. But you would have never gotten those perks and deals if you didn't apply to a grant. Applying to grants is truly for every business, every person who wants to start and scale a business. Okay, and that also goes for nonprofits too. Which brings me to like my third myth. A lot of people believe that you have to have a nonprofit in order for you to go for grant funding, and that's absolutely not true. Nonprofits have their own pool of grants, just like startups and small business owners have their own pool of grants too. Okay. They have their own. It's like literally 50-50. You don't have to have a nonprofit in order for you to get approved to free money, non-dilutive funding. That's not true. Literally, you can just simply you can just simply like be a startup, be a for-profit business, and trust me, there is so many grants out here for you, just as well as a nonprofit. Okay, cool. All right, so you don't have to be a nonprofit in order to access grants. Another question I get regarding the nonprofit and for-profit thing is, does your business have to be generating revenue in order for you to get grant funding? And that's not true either. Okay. Your business does not have to be generating revenue in order for you to get grants. Grants is to help you start, right? And to help you scale the business you have. So they just want to see what efforts did you put into your business before you go for grants. Ever since I started saying that on my live streams, what efforts did you put in to starting and scaling your business, right? I think that question has been very convicting for some of our viewers. And so I've noticed like some people kind of like was like, she's right. I need to get back to the drawing board. I need to actually execute, or I will come back to her channel when I'm ready. I've even had that this year. I've had a few of them come to me and say, hey, I've been watching you for years. And after 4 years of watching you, I just want to say thank you so much for being consistent. And also, I'm happy that you're still here doing this. I can say that when I first started watching you, I was just learning the ropes. And then life happened, and then like a whole year of a divorce or whatever the case may be. And now I'm here and I'm ready to start over again. And I believe that you are the best person for me to really understand how to get started. I've gotten those consultations a lot this year. And I believe that's because you know, yeah, some of the things I do say can be a bit convicting, right? But I'm here to tell you that I'm always here for you. I'm not judging you, right? But I just want you to know the ropes, right? And I want to be fully transparent with you in knowing how to scale a really good business. So, the people that have came to me this year, right? Some of them fell off, some of them, are still sticking with me, right? We're 1 month left for 2025. And it is a thing where you need to start showing traction, even for yourself, to reassure yourself that your business is needed in the market, right? So, what I mean by that is, how are you proving to yourself and to people you're getting asking funding from? How are you proving that this product and service that you're putting out there is needed? Because it's more than just like your idea. It's more than just like saying, well, I remember when I was in a situation and so I needed it. While that storyline, while your experience is totally like your experience, yes, your experience totally, yes, you should put it in there, right? It is worthy, right? Your experience is worthy. But how many people have experienced what you're experiencing, right? So if it's a thing where you're selling a product or a service and you were like, I tried this, and I remember when I was put in this position, so I decided, well, I noticed that nobody has this business in my area, and where I needed this, it was not there, so I decided to start the business. Then it's time for you to get out in the field, right? And to create like a survey box or something like that and get information about other people who might actually enjoy using your products and services that will help them out and help solve the same problem that you had. You understand? Cool. Traction. That's what that's called. And we're going to talk more about that in our live stream. Okay. All right, so I think I've said enough. Let's get right into it. I'm going to show you my frameworks of exactly how I answer the questions. A lot of you guys have a challenge with answering the grant questions. So you are like, I'm not applying to grants because I don't even know how to answer the questions because it is confusing. Well, this is the perfect live stream for you to be in. So make sure you share the live stream, especially with those who you know that they've had this challenge when they're applying to grants. If you follow these frameworks that I'm going to show you here in just a minute, then you will be in perfect position with answering each question. And it's not your answers, it's literally may the best person win, right? May the best business win. All right. So let's get right into it. You guys can also ask your questions in the chat. All right. Of course, we're going to like save some questions. I'm going to answer your questions towards the end. But really quick, let me say hey to everybody before I bring up these slides. Get ready to screenshot because we're about to get right into it. Okay. So, hey, Sticks Anderson, excuse me. Thanks so much for being here. Dennis, thanks so much for your consistency. Italian man 1986, this is the best channel, thank you. Mark Snow, hi, thanks. Jay Brittany, thanks so much for being here. Your consistency means everything to me. Rick Rebel, thank you so much. Mark Snow says, how do you apply? I'm going to show you in just a minute. Beauty is beautiful, thank you. Okay, I don't know who that is. Just humble 85. Do you need to start your business to qualify for a grant? Really great question. So yeah, you do. Okay. I want you guys to understand this, but you do not have a startup if you don't do the basic business foundations. The basic business foundations, right? The basic things are the like the registering your company with your state. So that's LLC, S corp, C corp, whatever that is, getting your EIN, opening up a business bank account, having a business website or at least the domain, and then also doing the other things to make your company legit, right? Doing your Google business profile, that's free to do. Also, like starting a LinkedIn channel, right? You need to open up a LinkedIn at least for your business. I have a free grant writing checklist that tells you all the things that you need to do. You can visit grantfully.org, and that's going to give you all the list of everything you need to have. And inside of that list is pretty much the basic business foundations. People think that they start their business without them having an LLC or EIN, or with them just having a DBA and an EIN, but no. Okay. If you don't officially register your company with the state, then your business has not started, which means you are not a startup. You are just in the idea phases. Okay. All right. Um, Awesome. Thank you so much, Dennis. And Dream Chaser 22 says hi. Thank you so much for being here, friend. All right, so let's get right into it. Without further ado, I'm going to show you exactly what my business frameworks are. Okay, I'm excited about this. Okay, so let's get into it. All right. Welcome to How to Secure Grants and When. All right, this is what we're going over today. Don't forget, you can grab my free grant writing checklist through grantfully.org. It's a full spreadsheet that is going to show you everything that you need to have before you go for grant funding. This is very important. If you don't have this, okay, then you will not be reassured on what you need to have before you go for grants. All right, so don't waste your time. Make sure you are properly prepared. As my friends always say from Miami, or anywhere in my generation, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Okay, so that's going to help you stay ready. Visit grantfully.org, be a part of the Grantfully funding community too. All right, so today, this is what you'll learn. There's 4 different things you'll learn today. Today, you're going to learn how to find high probability grants fast. High probability grants is grants that are actually for you, okay? That is for your business mission. So, high probability grants. We're going to talk about how to write scoring answers judges love. So, a lot of you guys you know how to find grants, but you don't know how to answer the questions, or you're not confident in your answers. So, I'm going to reassure you today. We would go through a quick Grantfully preview, but I'm just going to tell you about it. I'm not going to show you. That's only for the people that's a part of the Grantfully funding community. And then how to get ongoing support, the checklist and resources. I'll tell you how to get consistent support towards the end. Okay, so this is what you'll learn today. Jumping right into it, let's talk about the fastest path of high probability grants. Keep in mind that high probability grants is literally grants that are for your business. So many of us actually go for grants simply because you might have seen my video or someone else's video on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or here on YouTube or LinkedIn. When somebody's like, apply to this $20,000 grant that FedEx is giving. This is for all startups and small business owners. What happens is that you guys are just simply applying, or you're not applying, but a lot of you all are just simply applying, but you're not reading the terms, and you're not also reading the introductory page either. Reading comprehension is key. Reading is key, friend. Reading is key, okay? So let's get started with this, okay? All right, so maybe I should make myself smaller. All right, let me kind of get out of the way a little bit. All right, so fit, okay? So these are the 3 key things that you need to be looking at when we're talking about when we are talking about going for finding high probability grants. So finding grants that are like specific for what you're doing. Fit, okay? Who is this grant for? Who is this grant for? Where are they giving it out? So is it location specific? Do you have to be in El Paso, Texas? Do you have to be in Los Angeles, California? Do you have to be in Phoenix, Arizona, right? Do you have to be in Tampa, Florida? Where are they giving this grant out? What is the grant about? And what are they looking for? Is it for nonprofits that help, children and family? Is it for, is this grant for women-owned companies? Is this grant for Black-owned companies? Is this grant for men who are in trucking? Is this grant for veteran entrepreneurs, right? You need to know who is giving out this grant and who is this grant for, right? Who, where, and what. First things you need to be finding out. Where can you find this information? You can actually find this information on the actual grant introductory page. Okay. Okay. Cool. Timing. Another thing that I feel like as entrepreneurs that we don't look at, right? I get this question all the time. Shelby, how long does it take for you to actually get approved to a grant? Well, 7 to 30 days. And let me explain to you the timeline. You have to give the grantors, which is the grant judges, 30 days, at least 30 days after the application deadline date to let you know if you were selected. Each grant has a timeline. So you need to take a look at that grant timeline to reassure yourself if this grant timeline is sufficient enough for you. Is it good enough for you? Are you a person that aggressively needs this funding right now and you're looking for a grant that will fund you in 7 to 10 days? Or are you a person that, you can wait a little bit, you don't mind waiting, especially if it's for a grant that's 100K or better. So you're open to taking a 30-day grant. You understand? Cool. Proof. So here's the thing where I get a lot of people saying grants are a scam. Grants are not a scam. If you follow these three things, I promise you, you will be reassured it's not a scam. Or you just simply don't want to increase your intellect and you don't want to learn about free money that you can get to start and scale your business because you don't want to learn, because you just don't want to believe it, because you're afraid of how amazing you will be once you get this free money. Or you're afraid that you might mess it up. I get it. Totally. I totally get it. So, proof. You can validate traction quickly. So, when you are on the grants checklist, when you're on the grants introductory page, right, and it's talking about $10,000 for, startups and small business owners, whatever the case may be, right? When you scroll down, it will show you the previous winners. So, let's say previous winners from our grant program from 2024. And we have funded over $1 million in grants since 2020, right? The traction will be there. And that will reassure you that this grant is a real grant. They are not playing. They are giving out millions of dollars in funding. Okay. This is a real thing. This is a real thing. Cool. Another thing is the idea that people say that grants are a scam is simply because they have submitted grant applications and their answers they suck. And so because their answers suck, right, and they are not comprehending the actual question, or they're not even completing the grant application, what happens is that they just automatically result to saying, grants is a scam. I've already submitted grant applications and it's not true. Let me tell you something. Every personality or character trait regarding someone who says something like that, I have already been across that person. And every time I have a consultation with that person or I have a conversation with that person, either in the chat, right, I always reassure them and get them right together. Want to know why? Because you will not discourage the rest of the people who has been a part of that 84% to leave over $90 billion in funding on the table. When people out here are really getting free money to start and scale their business, you really think that Uber Eats, Uber, Twitch, and Airbnb started off of like selling their homes and off of assets? Absolutely not. While they did go for investment capital, they also went for grant funding too for in the beginning phases. So why allow these big companies to have all dibs when you as a startup and small business owners has the opportunity too? If you do these things, you will be able to find grants that actually serve in your favor. You'll be going for grants that are specifically tailored, right? It aligns with your business mission. That is the number one reason why most people don't get approved to grants, is because not only are you not applying to them, but also simply because you are going for grants that do not align with your mission. If you have a nonprofit that helps young women and children, then go for grants that are specifically for that. In addition to, don't box yourself in, but in addition to other grants that are tailored towards you, like if you have a nonprofit and you're a woman owned nonprofit, you're a black owned nonprofit, whatever the case may be, definitely go for those other grants too. But if your mission aligns with a specific grant, then literally you're the perfect candidate for this opportunity. Okay. All right. So moving forward, I have what's called a high probability scorecard. I want you guys to take a look at this. The high probability scorecard is pretty much a list of 5 questions, right, or 5 things that you need to reassure yourself on whether or not you should actually apply to this grant, right? Should you prioritize this grant or not? So the first one is eligibility precision. When you are looking at the eligibility rates and stuff like that, or the list, do you meet it? This scorecard is a total of 10 points. Okay. So out of the five questions that out of the five things we're going over here, if each of them are 2 points each, then that means you truly need to apply to this grant. Okay. This is going to reassure you if this grant you're going for, there's a high chance that you would actually win it. Eligibility precision. Are you the named beneficiary? Are you the one that they are actually looking for? Okay. Are you the one that they're looking for? Are you based in the United States? Are you 18 years or older? Are you a woman-owned company? Are you a black-owned company? Do you have a beauty care company and you are selling a product? Have you been in business for 2 years? Right? Whatever the eligibility requirements are, do you meet them? You will give it a score out of 0 or 2. If you're missing something on the eligibility requirements, like let's say you meet everything else, but you haven't been in business for 2 years, then I would give it a 1, a score of a 1. Okay. Geography. Are you located in the city and state or the country that they are looking for candidates for? Okay, so that's 0 to 2. Use of funds. All right, your needs matches the grant's thesis. The grant's thesis is pretty much the mission. So your needs. Let's say we need funding for us to be able to help with persons with disabilities. We're opening up a persons with disabilities daycare, right? And in order for us to be able to open up this daycare, we need to have, I don't know, safety equipment, right? So let's say that grant is giving out money specifically for people who want to open up persons with disabilities daycare, and they want to give the money and resources and tools that you need to be able to open it. You understand? So, use of funds. Make sure your use of funds aligns with the grant's thesis. You can also see this information inside of what's called the grant's terms. So each grant application or each grant introductory, right? Each grant website, there you'll see a small hyperlink that says official rules, grants official rules, or you'll see something that says grant terms. You need to click on that because when you go into that PDF, it's going to tell you exactly who's what they're trying to fund, okay, and who they're going for. Traction, all right. So, are you traction ready? Do you have receipts, revenue, users, pilot letters? Remember, I said earlier that it's very important to reassure yourself on whether or not, if this business is needed in the market. Well, traction will show that. Traction is not always about getting revenue and making money for your business, especially if you're a startup. A startup, remember, I said a startup is one who has already done the business foundations. You ain't starting a business if you didn't open up an LLC, EIN, and open up a bank account and a website. Okay. Okay. But if you did and you are not generating revenue, it's okay. All right. Then you need to be getting surveys. You need to be building your email list. You know what I mean? You need to get some feedback from some people. So if you're selling like beard oils and a whole like beard kit, and that's what you want to do, and you're a barber and you want to like start selling beard oils that's going to help men grow their beards and stuff, well, maybe since you're already a barber, maybe you should start giving out this beard oil or putting it on your client's face and like actually tracking the progress. If you've been tracking that progress for the last 3 months, I mean, at least 90 days, you should see something growing. And if you're able to keep those pictures, then guess what? You have traction, right? If you are a person that is opening up a service, like let's say we're going into taxes, so you are a CPA and this is your first time being a CPA, right? You just got your tax license and stuff, right? And you want to go for a grant that's going to help you out with your lease. So you can have a place to do your taxes and stuff. Well, you can always go out and ask people how would they feel about having their taxes done at the most lowest affordable rate in your zip code, right? You could say first 50 people or first 25 people free taxes, which means you get practice of applying or of submitting 50 tax forms for free. So you get that good practice. And then out of all those 50 people, you get them to do a survey of saying how good your services was and how good you were able to walk them through the entire tax preparing process and how they were able to comprehend the entire process and the new tax codes for their families and their businesses. You know what I mean? Yeah, it doesn't have to be 50. It could be like 25. You know what I mean? But like, do the first 25 for free. So that way, those 25 people, the only thing you're asking them to do is a survey. We got traction. And no, you haven't technically opened up yet. So what you did was you used them as practice clients. But you want to open up a physical location so you can hire other people and train them as well. Because you notice in your area that there is a needed CPA, right? A tax preparer that can not only do earned income, but that can also help with doing business taxes. And you see that there's not a lot of people that's doing earned income and business taxes at the same time at an affordable rate that you're going to offer. And you want to be a year-round tax preparer, not just for, the first 6 months. Okay, so that's an example. So traction. And then last but not least, time fit. All right. So is there enough days left to submit the grant application? That's 0 to 2 points. Okay. So that's how that works. Now, here's the scorecard. If probability scorecard, if it is anywhere between 8 points or better, then that's a green light. That means apply to it. Don't waste no time. High priority. If it's 6 or 7, second priority, maybe. If you have applied to all of the high probability grants, then just you can just submit it to see if it's worth it. If it's less than 5, right? If it's 5 and below points, I would not apply to that grant. You may be thinking that this is totally an extra step that I feel like I should not have to do, but if you truly want to give yourself a chance at winning, right, you have to be very intentional. All right, be very intentional, because if all of the other tries that if all of the other ways that you've been applying to grants didn't work, if it didn't work, then let's be more intentional about how we're going for grants and how we're searching for grants. This is a breakdown, okay? All right. So I get this question a lot. What are the main questions that grants ask? Okay. So what are they looking for on the grant applications? So here's the 5 questions that every grant will ask. Okay. So who are you? All right. So who are you? What's the problem? So who are you and what's the problem? So that's kind of like a 2-in-1. Um, why now? So prove to us why your product and services is needed now. What will you do with the funds? Which is very, very direct. Who benefits? So, what's the impact from that? And why you? So, the credibility. Let me break this down for you. Who are you and what's the problem? My name is Shelby. I'm a 71% successful grant writer, and I am a person who has had challenges with getting funding. Why now? Okay. Or I could just rephrase that. My name is Shelby, 71% successful grant writer, founder of Grantfully. That is a service, a grant writing service for just $30, right? Why now? It is needed now because over $90 billion get left on the table. 33 million small business owners and 84% of them don't go for grant funding. Another thing with traction, I have created a funding community specifically for Grantfully, right? That has over 100 people like signed up for it. Whatever my traction would be, I would explain how I know. What will you do with the funds? If I got $100,000, I will put it into what? Marketing, advertising, whatever. And I will actually break this down in percentages. I've explained this before, but when they ask for what will you do with the money, it's not, don't give a vague answer. We'll talk about that a little bit like later as we're moving forward, but don't give a vague answer. Okay. Give them numbers. 10% will go here, 20% will go there, 10% will go there, then 50% will go here. Okay. Who benefits? What's the impact? If we're able to provide our products and services, we'll be able to solve these problems for our clientele, for these type of people, which result into them having a safer environment. Okay. Why you? What's the credibility? I've been doing this for 10 years. And in my 10 years of expertise in doing this, I have realized I have gotten more than enough questions about this. I have saw my clients go through more than enough of these challenges. Therefore, I wanted to offer this for my clients so that way they can have a more free, full living. Okay. So what's the credibility? I've been, let's say I've been a cosmetologist for 15 years. I've been behind the chair. I've been, behind the chair for that long, for 15 years as well. I do believe that it is time for us to move forward with teaching or grow, right? If we're able to grow, we'll be able to teach. And if we can teach, then we can help other people, bring in income. Okay. So something like that. What makes you credible? All right, so let's talk about the Paris framework. This is my favorite framework as far as in answering questions for the grant applications. I know it's small, so you can screenshot it. All right, if you screenshot it, then you'll be able to blow it up on your phone, okay? Paris is the acronym. The P is for problem, the A is for audience, the R is for results, I is for investment, and S is for specifics, okay? Problem, this is how you answer the questions. I get this question a lot. Shelby, how do you apply to grants? This is it. This is it. How do you apply to grants? This is it. Okay. This is it. Pay attention because you're going to need to know this when you are applying to grants yourself, or you could just hire me and my team. But you're going to need to know this. Okay. Pay attention. How do you apply to, if you are asking yourself, how do you apply to grants? Besides visiting grantwatch.com or Hello Skip, once you find the grant that is in favor of you, that you like, they're going to ask you those recent 5 questions we just went over. And here's the framework of how to answer those questions. If you can follow this Paris framework, you're good to go, friend. It's not your answers. It's just may the best business win. Okay, cool. P is for problem. You need to give a 1-sentence pain with a number. 1-sentence pain with a number. So in other words, 84% out of the 33 million small business owners in the United States leave over $90 billion on the table in grant funding. In that same 84%, they are actually looking for funding, but they're going for loans and they're getting denied. That's a problem. Audience, who's affected? So that could be the niche or the location, but who's affected? Startup and small business owners are affected because they are consistently running their personal and business credit through the ground by trying to get approved to debt funding. Instead, they can go for some of this $90 billion that they are leaving on the table. Results. Grantfully is a platform where you can search for grants and track your entire grant funding process and have someone apply to a grant for you for just $30. Instead of you having to go through the hassle of searching and applying to grants for you, our AI generated and smart filtered search engine will automatically find the grants that serve in your favor according to the information that is in your dashboard. We already have a Grantfully funding community with over 100 people who are interested in not only this platform, but also they want to be a part of a community that will truly help them scale. Collaborations, networking, and weekly webinars, in addition to that weekly grant list that they will get in their emails that will support them in their grant writing journey. Results, proof that I can deliver. Investment, how funds transform within 90 days. If you gave me $100,000, I will use this money within, I would spend 25% of it every quarter of the year, allowing us to be more sustainable. And in that 25%, we would actually invest into these 3 key areas: payroll, marketing, and development, right? Software development or supplies and equipment. Okay. Specifics, concrete milestones. We plan to have a launch party by summer or spring, right? So summer, spring, spring, summer. So funny. I can't believe I said that. So we are expected to have a launch party, a physical launch party in Miami, Florida, spring 2026, where we are able to offer so many great incentives, for people who are looking for grants and non-dilutive funding, and also an area where they can, meet investors and all this other good stuff, right? That's a milestone because that's something that we plan to do. A milestone for you could be we want to give out Christmas presents to underserved urban areas, right? That's a milestone, right? Cool. So Paris framework, this is actually how you apply to grants. How do I apply to grants? This is it. Okay, cool. All right, so this is what judges actually dock points for. So for those of you who don't know, each answer that you give or each question that you're answering, they are going to read the answer and they are going to take points away from your answer based off of the information that you put on there. Okay, so what judges dock points for? Vague outcomes with no numbers. So if you're just saying, we our company helps people who are, suffering from hypertension. That's quite vague. Tell us, in Houston, Texas, something percent of people, specifically Black women, which is something percent, suffer from hypertension. With us noticing that, we would like to help out with this challenge in our area. Budgets with no milestones or time. All right. So how you asking for $100,000 but you don't have a timeline of how you're going to spend it? Doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Make it make sense. All right. How are you going to use the money? Generic. So you're generic. You have a generic claim, which means we are going to help the community. That's very generic. How? How are you going to help the community? How do you know the community wants the help? Right. Overclaiming. We will be national in the next 90 days. All right. That's overclaiming. Be realistic. Typos, formatting, okay, that hurts credibility. You can actually use Grammarly to help you out with typos and all that good stuff, okay? With you submitting grant applications online, it's not through the paper or any paper applications. You actually have autocorrect on your phone, okay? So you should be good to go. All right. So, yes, that was pretty much it. We went through so many great things. I showed you guys the high probability scorecard, which is something that you should use. All right, gives you up to 10 points. And once you have done that exercise, you're able to reassure yourself that the grant you're going for is perfect for you. Also, we went over the Paris framework, right? So that's how you actually submit the grant applications, right? And answer the questions. And then, yeah, so you guys can always join the Grantfully funding community. All right. If you don't know what Grantfully is a smart grant search engine that allows you to find grants that serve in your favor. You also get your own dashboard. It's really cool. And you get to see and track all of the grants that you are in favor of. So you will put in there that you are located in Texas, you're a barbering like shop or whatever, and you might be a Black owned company. And then you would search for grants and you can favorite and you can heart the grants that you like. So it allows you to track them. But in addition to that, Grantfully is also that done for you service where you can only pay $30 and you can have somebody, an expert, submit the grant application for you. $30 per application. The most affordable done for you grant writing service, usually on average, a grant writer actually charges anywhere between $500 to $1,000 per grant application, whereas Grantfully is just that streamlined platform where you can go on there, find grants, apply, have someone apply to you, track the entire process, and you get one-on-one tailored help. So it's not just like you're just paying and you don't know who's the person that's submitting your grant application. No, you can chat with them through the chat box on our website, or you can also pick up the phone and just simply call and say, hey, I want to do this thing. I want to submit my $30, but I don't know how to do it. Okay. There's a contact center. You get full help, free consultations. You can always talk to somebody if you need reassurance on how to move forward with this. So you get a lot of tailored help through grantfully.org. Grantfully.org, the full platform drops December 10th. So be a part of the virtual launch. In order for you to be a part of the virtual launch to get a 50% off coupon and all that good stuff, you need to download the free grant writing checklist. which is at grantfully.org. Okay. So if you visit grantfully.org, you'll be able to get the free grant writing checklist. You'll be a part of the weekly webinars. You'll get a free weekly grant list of about 5 grants you can apply to, right? And you also get like free consultations with me, which is really cool. Okay. So that's an awesome thing. Yeah. Okay. Some of you guys were like, okay, do you have a community? Well, Grantfully has a community. I am the founder of this really cool SaaS platform, and so blessed to be a part of it, right? So yeah. All right, any questions about what we went over? Do we have any questions? Any questions? This was really fun. This was really fun. uh, One of our friends says, we don't need grants if we help each other. Yeah, actually, that's exactly how we help each other. So the Fear This Fund, that's one example. She's a Black woman-owned company that she's a Black woman-owned VC firm, right? So she gives out venture capital. That's her thing. Well, she also gives out grants. But there is a proper way to do things. It's not a situation where it's like, oh, you just, while there it is a great idea to you just help your neighbor, not everybody has the ability to donate and to help each other. That's just, we have to be realistic, right? So you have to have a proper order of operations when you're doing things, and also to reassure you and the people you're trying to help that this is a legitimate thing. So, yes, I understand where you're coming from. We don't need grants if we help each other, but grants is to help each other. You just have to look at it from a different perspective and understand that there are proper channels that we must go through in order for other people to be able to go for this money who legitimately need it. Imagine somebody who makes a lot of money, right? And they tell your neighborhood, let's say you are a neighborhood of about not even 100 people, so you're in a neighborhood of about 50 people, right? And somebody in your neighborhood makes a lot of money, a lot of money, a lot of money, like through tech or something, but you don't really know it. But this is a person who's a millionaire living in your neighborhood, and you guys say, okay, we're all going to put our money together, all 50 of us, and we are going to give out a $2,000 grant, or we're going to give out a $2,000 grant, or we're going to donate $2,000 to our one of our neighbors, right? And this specific neighbor, who's a millionaire, who makes more money than everybody, right, comes and say, oh, I need the money. And mind you, that's the same person who did not donate towards this $2,000. Then what? Are you going to penalize and judge that person? No, that's not how God operates. You know what I mean? So it's better to be able to give out grant funding and to ask specific questions, right? That is going to help you as a person who wants to donate to your neighborhood, helps you reassure yourself that this person genuinely needs it based off of the questions that you ask. Yes, there has been times where people have given out money and just given out money, just giving out money, but there has been people that has taken advantage of those programs, and that's why you have to have a questionnaire. That's why you have to have a proper order of operations when you're doing these things. Yes, because it helps you to, you know what I mean, make sure that you are only giving out money to people who need it. You can give money out to somebody who's a straight scammer. It's like, yeah, I need the money, I need this, I need that, and you're always in need, but technically you're scamming because the same money that you take, you're not even putting it towards starting a business, or you're not even feeding your own children. Instead, what you're doing is you're buying clothes, you're buying shoes. You don't know what people truly do with their life. You're not in their head, you're not in their bank accounts, and you are also not in their homes. You know what I mean? So that's a really great comment. We don't need grants if we help each other, but having a grant program, having grant opportunities is a way that as a nation, and especially as entrepreneurs, it is a way that we actually help each other, for sure. One of the things that I do is I come here on YouTube all the time and I give out free information, like really good information that's going to help you win debt-free funding that you don't have to pay back. That's one way that I'm helping. Also, I give out a free grant writing checklist. You can visit grantfully.org. That's how I give out free funding. I do free weekly webinars, right? Small business development webinars, and make sure you are in great position, not only for funding, but to help you really scale your business and solve problems for your customers. So that's a free thing that I do. I have a free community where we all network and collaborate with each other and we help each other, right? We share our services and products with each other, right? And we buy each other's services and products, right? So that way we can all share the revenue or share the income, let's say that. So, yeah, that's one way that we do it. I have a funding community that we actually do all those things together. But I can't be negative about it and say, oh, if all you guys would donate $1,000, then we wouldn't have to do this. We wouldn't have to do that. No, absolutely not. You have to have grace and mercy with people. Not everybody has your way of thinking. Yeah, grants is helping each other on the contrary. Absolutely. It is. It is. Any other questions? We've been in here for an hour. I really do appreciate you guys and your time, as usual. Tampa, Florida. I'm doing a this coffee thing. I'm gonna make some content about it, but I want us to meet at this coffee shop in downtown Tampa, which is really cool. So I'm waiting on some responses from that, and then I'll actually make some content around it. And while I'm here in Tampa, we'll be able to meet, and it will be so fun. Uh, Allie, I think it's how you say it, Allie. Would love to get a session with you. What is the process? Okay, you can visit. If you want to have a one-on-one consultation with me, it's $50. All right, and you can visit superchargemybusiness.com. You can simply click the link in the description, and you can go ahead and book a one-on-one consultation with me. It's in the description. Okay, or I'll put it here. Super. You can't. You can't. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. It's in the description. In the description of all of my videos. Right. And can't wait to meet you. Can't wait to meet you. Yes, grants is such a great thing. I think you guys should really open your minds to going for them. If you haven't went for grants before, then this is probably your calling. Especially if you've been a person that have actually this entire year you've been trying to go for loans, but you keep getting denied, or you got approved to a loan, but then you realize after 30 days of having that loan that it's time to pay it back. Why not go for grant funding that you don't have to pay back? You have to go through that hassle of having to scramble and find out how you're going to pay something back in 30 days, and you haven't even started generating revenue yet. And don't let somebody scam you neither, right? It's a lot of scammers out here. It's a lot of people out here that will tell you, "Oh, I can get you 100,000, this amount of money, that amount of money," and then what happens is that they'll get you this money, but they're not going to tell you exactly how to operate. They're not going to tell you how to invest in your business because that's not their job. I'll never forget. I had a consultation with one of my clients this year or whatever, and she was telling me, I got a 100,000. I got approved for $100,000, but you know what my problem is? Nobody told me how to actually invest the money. So now I got $100,000 loan that I need to pay back, but I haven't even started generating revenue. Mind you, this was in June, so we was already 6 months in, and about 6 months. So she had already received this loan at the beginning of the year, um, and so she's been paying it back. But she said that she wants to go for grants. I hate that she had to go through that because it's like you could have went for grants first. While there's no 100% guarantee that you will win it, it's also a thing of you're not going through such the hassle that you're going through right now. You understand? So maybe you could have went for a grant that was $100,000, and now it's a situation where if you get $100,000 grant, you have to pay the loan back. You got to pay the loan back, and then you also have to, um, you know, not only pay the loan back, but now you have to go for more grants because you know what I mean? Like you need some money to invest. Another thing is being open to like business coaches, right? So there's affordable business coaches out here. You just have to go with the one that really resonates with your comprehension, right? And that you understand what they're saying and that you feel that they are really interested in your growth, right? Not somebody who's just going to tell you to use ChatGPT and AI, right? I mean, you can use ChatGPT, but you still need reassurance, right? You still need someone who's going to reassure you and walk you through every step of the way. Okay. Okay. And okay. How do you find out which grant is for my business? Okay, so yeah. Um, how do I find out which grants for my business? So I just went over that. So welcome in. So I'm going to show you really quickly how the scorecard. Where is that? Where is that? Okay. So you want to go over these three things when you find a grant. I think if you don't know where to find grants, you can visit Hello Skip, or grantwatch.com. Grantwatch is a $50 a month platform, so you do have to pay every monthly for that. But when you find a grant that looks promising, then you need to take a look at these three things. Who is the fit? So, who is this grant for? Where is it giving it out? And what is it for? So, is this grant for women owned companies? Where? So, is it for women owned companies based out of Atlanta, Georgia? And are they only giving it out to beauty companies, right? So, or daycares? The timing, you need to take a look at the grant's timeline. Each grant has their own different timeline. So sometimes it's a thing where we can apply to a grant here in November. The deadline date might be November 30th, and then they might not announce the winner until December 20th. And then they would actually, provide the funding to your business bank account January 20th, right? So you need to take a look at the grant's timeline and then proof. So proof that you can validate the traction quickly. In other words, you can reassure yourself that this grant is a good enough grant to go for. They are always giving out money. You can take a look at who was the winners the year before in 2024 or so. And then that will reassure you that this is a real grant program, and they give out a lot of money and it's a good one to go for. Okay. I don't like going for grants that are less than $10,000. So at least go for grants that's like 10K or better. Okay. So your question was, yeah. So I hope I answered your question. How do I find out which grant is for my business? Yes, by doing the high probability scorecard thing, which is pretty much looking at who are they looking for, right? And all of this is on the grant introductory page. Okay. So in just a minute or so, I'm going to show you guys really quick a grant so we can just so you can reassure yourself of what that looks like. Yes, you did. Thank you. Okay, awesome. All right, so let me see if I can bring up a grant here. Okay. 1 second, you guys. I think it's okay. Okay. Sorry, you guys. All right, so let's see here. Okay, we'll go over this one. Let me see. I'll go over this one too. All right, so I'm just going to show you. Is there a limit to the number of grants you can apply to? No. It's unlimited amounts of grants that you can apply to. Yeah, unlimited amounts of grants that you can go for. So have at it. Apply to as many as you can. The more the merrier in this situation. Bear with me, you guys. Mm, mm. Um, Sorry, someone from my team is not feeling good, so yes, for that. No, I should have jump started at the beginning. Okay, good. You know that I was saying, coming out to me while building a Okay. Yes. I've had my business for 5 years and never received a grant. Sometimes I think I get intimidated. No, so grants is a thing where it's like may the best business win. And also it's very important that you answer the questions with facts, right? Sometimes you can be very vague in your answers. And I understand, especially if you are applying to so many grants, that you want like an easier way to submit grant applications. But that's why I always say submit one grant application a day, because it's like don't you know what I mean? Don't stress yourself out. If you submit one grant a day, then you're good to go. You're giving yourself a really good chance, and you're also not overstressing yourself. Um, and then for those of you who are generating revenue and you're in a good position to hire a grant writer, then hire one so that way you don't have to worry about those challenges. But don't get intimidated, right? It's literally made the best business win. And sometimes it's also the way that you answer questions. So if they're asking you, what would you do with the money? But you're saying, we would invest the money into marketing, payroll, and supplies and equipment so we can use this money to be able to scale our business. Well, that's a very vague answer. Instead of explaining to them in percentages and the milestones that you plan to reach and how impactful that will be. So you need to be very detailed. You need to be very detailed when you are answering grant questions, because this is people that they are willing to give out the free money to you, but they want to make sure they are choosing the best candidates that have a really good mission and that will be solving problems with this money. Okay. So No need to get intimidated, right? If you know that your clients have this problem and you are solving it, and you'll be able to help more people that have that problem by, having the necessary funding to reinvest. Well, what does that reinvestment look like, and how impactful will it be? Okay. So yeah. So okay, I understand. Okay, awesome. Good. All right, so I'm going to show you all some really cool grants here. All right. So at the beginning, I said that at the beginning, sorry, I had to go through that grant really quick. At the beginning, I said that it's really good for you to read, right? Know, reassure yourself if this is the grant that you should be going for before actually, you know what I mean? Going for it. So let me go ahead and show you this grant. Yes, I have the outside door open, you guys. I like sitting with the outside door open. Okay, hold on one second. All right, so this is how you're going to reassure yourself. You can visit helloskip.com. HelloSkip is a place where you can find grants too. So on the grant introductory page, like I said before, it will show you everything that you need. All right. So this grant, which has the details, is telling you um, you need to be a US based entrepreneur, 18 years or older. To apply, you need to complete the application and then click submit. The application is open to all active, so you have to be active and trialing Skip Plus member. So you have to be a Skip Plus member, paying like $13 a month in order to have access to this one. You complete the application and all the questions, and then one $10,000 cash grant winner, and 5 people will win $500 in credits. They will be selected, and you have by November 18th to submit it. Okay, and the finalists and the winner will be notified by December 15th. So this is all the information you need. If you take a look at the framework that I gave you before, which is who, what, and when, okay, right? Um, who, what, and where, right? Where, who, yeah, who are they giving this grant out to? What are they giving it out for? And like where or when? If all of these things meet your requirements, also the timeline. The timeline doesn't meet your requirements, they'll be notified by December 15th. Is that okay for you? And then you can also take a look at their traction by, knowing the HelloSkip platform a little bit more. So you can go through, if you are in HelloSkip, right? You can go to like their public listing, or you could just simply go through this grant a little bit more details, right? It already gives you the details. You can just learn more about this platform. HelloSkip's been doing this for a very long time, so honestly, that wouldn't be a hard thing at all. Um, yeah, let me see. Get out of here. There is somewhere on here where it shows you. There's like a scroll to the bottom. Or where is it? EIDL videos, EIDL document setting. There's usually like this, like for Skip specifically, they have like a, what is it called, like an article somewhere, but they have changed their website so much. So I will have to know documents, domain, website, business plan, public listing. I will have to know grants, votes, instant grants, my funding. So yeah, there's like somewhere usually on here. I haven't went through this in a while, where they usually have like they tell you, or you can just simply click the little skip like question button and ask it too, but that can reassure you as well. All right. So yeah, that's one. And do you have to show how you spent the grant receipts, etc.? So Shorty G, yes, sometimes you do, but that's not a problem, right? It's best that you create like a spreadsheet of things that you have already done, even if they're not asking you for really good question. Even if the grant is not asking you to complete like a spreadsheet and have like receipts of exactly how you spent the grant, it's best that you do that. The reason why is that that actually puts you in favor for their next grant round or grant opportunity for the next grant program that they give out next year. So if you know that you want to consistently apply to grants because it's free money, why not? Then Be in favor, increase your chances of approvals by simply providing them with a full tracking list, like a list of things that you spent the money on and how it was impactful. So, therefore, when you do apply for the grant the next year, what happens is they're like, okay, we know about this company. We are happy that this company is applying, and we probably will let them win because simply because they clearly show that they are using the money to scale, right? Instead of just using the money just to whatever, right? Frolic. Okay. All right. So let me show you another grant here. All right. So this is the Sephora Beauty Grant. Okay. And so another thing is to reassure yourself, how do you know if this grant is for you? Well, we're going to look at the eligibility requirements, right? When you look at the eligibility requirements, it says the business must sell a consumer product good and has an annual revenue of $100,000. Do you meet this requirement? Business must be located in the United States. Business must have 51% or more ownership by an underrepresented founder or founding team. You got to be Black, woman, person of color, indigenous, okay? Must have been in business for at least 1 year. Must sell a product at least one of the following categories. Has to be in beauty, hair care, makeup, makeup tools, skincare, fragrance, bath and body. To be eligible to apply, a team must have at least one founding member from such a background, including but not limited to, got to be Black, African, African American, AAPI, Hispanic, Latino, Latina, Latin, Indigenous, LGBTQIA+, parents who earn income below the poverty level, first generation immigrants, and women founders from any background traditionally overlooked in venture capital funding may apply for regardless of race. Okay. So that's what they're looking for. If you meet these requirements, then why not go for this $100,000 grant? Okay. It tells you the application process. So, application started October 28th. You have by November 28th to submit. They will notify the finalists January, and then February 7th is when uh, the grantee is announced. All right, at the gala. So that's the timeline. Does the timeline work for you? So all of this information is literally on the grant's website. Okay, it's directly on the grant website. This is 15% pledge. This is also a funding community and VC firm as well. They give out grants, so this is really good to join. You can join their community, so you can have a lot of grants that come through as well. Okay, all right. So when we were going over exactly how do you like notify yourself or reassure yourself if the grant is for you, then yeah, like that's how you do that. You want to actually read the information on the grant introductory page. Sometimes there's a place where you can look at the there's like a huge bee that just came in here. I hate it. Sometimes there's a thing where you can just simply look at like more information on the website too. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now let's go in the house. Cool. Okay. Sorry, this will be. That's the only thing about having the door open. Yeah. So that's that. Um, that's it. Any other last minute questions? I'm gonna let you guys go on this beautiful Tuesday. Don't forget to get the free grant writing checklist. If you are part of the Grantfully funding community, then we are doing our weekly webinar on Tuesdays. So not today, but on Tuesday. I'm really excited because I'm going to talk more about what your website, like how to get a website and what your website needs to have for funding. So we're going to talk about that and what product management is. I have had this question this week. What do I need to have on my website for grants? So I'm going to go over that, what every website should have, no matter what business industry you are into. Okay, so this is going to be really fun. What else is it? Yeah, you guys let me know if you have any additional questions. Okay, so is that it? Uh, Hi, Miss Amazing. Where are you streaming from? And is it fabulous? Oh yeah, so I'm actually in Florida. I'm back in the U.S. I really miss home. I miss being in Nigeria. No lie, I'm so ready to go back home. I promise you. I miss my husband. Like I miss my life. But I'm here for the holidays with my family, so it's cool. What was the Skip website again? Hello Skip. It's called Hello Skip. All right. Styles by Leilani. And also, I noticed that you signed up for Grantfully, so shout out to you. I'll see you in our. You'll be getting email, so check your email. Um, yeah, check your email and stuff. It is a funding community of over 150 people, and we're happy to be together. So on Tuesday, make sure you join us for our webinar on Tuesday. Okay, it's usually Tuesday, 12 p.m. How do we sign up? You can visit grantfully.org. Grantfully.org, and make sure you grab the free grant writing checklist. And once you've done that, you have already been signed up. Very simple. What you get is you get 5 grants into your email that you can apply to every week. You also get free weekly webinars that you get to join us all together on our Google Meets. And also, you'll be a part of the virtual launch for Grantfully for December 10th. That means you'll be able to get somebody to submit grants for you for just $30 per application. It's really cool. So that's cool. Okay. Awesome. All right, you guys, I'm going to let you go for the day. It's such a blessing to have you with me. I'll see you same time tomorrow, friend. Okay. Have some consultations and some meetings because if you don't know, I'm going for my own investment capital. I'm going for grants, but I'm also going for investment capital too. I am willing to share a piece of my company for millions of dollars. So that's what I'm doing. So I have some meetings to do today, but I pray that you guys have an amazing Tuesday. And it's quite chilly outside, so enjoy the rest of your day, okay? All right, see you tomorrow.